You have an idea. You want to tell it to the world, but you don't know where to start. That's where Anchor comes in. They have the tools for you to edit, produce, and record your idea right from your phone or computer. It's the easiest way to reach and grow your audience. They publish for you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all major platforms. And to top it all off, they match you with advertisers so you can earn from your passion and your wonderful idea. So tell me, what are you waiting for? Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started and follow your dream. Welcome to Disruptive Adventism. My name is Jose Briones, and I'll be your host for this podcast. This podcast is about discussing the polemical statements and practices that are part of the Adventist fabric, which in turn shape this belief system to be unique and relevant for today's society. Our topic for today, community empowerment, finalizes our series on empowerment. We hope that you have enjoyed it and that you apply it to your everyday life. Before we start our podcast today, I want to thank listeners from outside of the States who have been sharing our content. We have a lot of listeners from Ireland, Australia, South Africa, Canada, Philippines, and England, among many other countries. So we want to thank you for sharing this podcast. And if you want to participate, please reach out in our avenues through Gmail or our website. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. And with nothing else to say, let us begin. Welcome back, everyone, to Disruptive Adventism. Today, we are finalizing our series, as I said in the introduction, and we have an important topic to talk about. That is community empowerment. And we have with us a very special guest. We have Jharony Fernandez-Gibbs. She is a social worker. She is pursuing her social work master's and a master's in youth and young adult ministry. How's it going, Jharony?
It's going great. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited to be here today.
All right. Awesome. We are excited to have you here. And before we start, we always like to get a little bit of background from you. Where you're from, what have you been doing, and what are you involved when it comes to the idea of community empowerment?
Okay, so I was born in the Dominican Republic, and I came to the United States when I was 9, and I grew up in New York City. In New York City, I went to school there. I went to an art school. Then I came to Andrews University when I was like a sophomore. Mm-hmm. So I went to another school, criminal justice for criminal justice. This is in school. I was going to be an FBI agent, but then God told me, no, don't be an FBI agent. So then I didn't end up being an FBI agent. So then I came to Andrews University in 2009, and I got my wellness degree, health and fitness. And after that, when I was done with that, I went to do youth ministry in California. So Central California Conference for a year. So that was really awesome. And after that, for 5 years straight, every summer, I used to go there to do a team program in the summer.
Awesome.
So, and now I'm back here for Andrews as for grad school, and it's amazing. And when it comes to empowering the community, I'm involved in a lot of activities and events in Benton Harbor. Okay. Which is like about 11 miles away from here, and it's a low-income community. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Cool. That's awesome. That's good background we got, even from where you were born to today, so that's really good. So let's get into the idea. Let's start by kind of like giving a little bit of a definition. How do you see community empowerment in your view? What is community empowerment?
Okay, so to me, community empowerment is more than giving handouts, more than giving food to the poor, or more than providing something that's just temporary, but it's providing something that's going to help the people have the ability to take care of themselves. Okay. So community empowerment for me is to be able to go to a community and give them the tools so they can go do their own thing. So they won't have to rely on us and depend on us. So just like basically teach them how to fish, not just give them the fish. So that's basically what community empowerment means to me. Okay. Empowering the people to do their own thing. And as a social worker, that's like our major thing. Empowering people, empowering our clients or our patients or whoever we deal with. Not giving it out as easy as, oh, here, you got it. This is all you need for today. We want to make sure that with community empowerment, we help them to the point that whenever we leave, they don't have to live with us forever. Like, they don't need us in their lives forever. They can do it on their own with whoever's around, whether we're there or not. So that's
So it's not only teaching them how to fish, and the analogy has been around for a long time now, but what you're saying is that you're able to replicate or able to continue the empowerment cycle even after the person that empowered you first is gone.
Exactly.
Okay. How is that different in your view and your experience from the social worker's perspective? Why? How is the care? How do you see it? Community empowerment from what's the process? Maybe that's what I'm trying to get to.
So with social workers, social workers is a very large spectrum. Okay. There's so many things you could do. You could work in the hospital, you could work in the schools, you could work in mental facilities, you can work anywhere. It's prisons, whatever. You could work anywhere. And we're not the people that go and take children away, like from family. People think that that's what we do. We don't. That's not what we do. Okay. Some of us do that, but that's not what we do. So with social workers, our goal is we have this code of ethics that National Association of School Social Workers. We're not just school social workers, just social workers. We have this code of ethics, and one of the major things is empowering people. And when we empower people, our way is to help them, to see their presenting problem, help them with that problem, but at the same time, being able to help them to the point that they have all the tools and they have all the techniques that they need. So to get them out of the clinic or out of the office or out of whatever setting that we're helping them in. Does that make sense? So our goal is not to stay in their life forever. So we're like, there's a lot of social workers that will tell you that patients will look at them and be like, I really want to one day just not see your face anymore, but not in a bad way. Like, oh, we don't want to see your face here anymore either, because we want to make sure that you're so empowered that you don't need us anymore. So that's the whole idea of social work.
You mentioned that you have been working with a low-income community.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about that.
So I love Benton Harbor. Okay. So it's one of the low-income communities here in Michigan. And a lot of people may think that it's just a violent area and it's just bad and all this. But when I came here for undergrad in 2009, I started being part of this group, this outreach group here at the school that I am going to. And in this school, we will go every Saturday afternoon and go all around the community and pick up kids from, you have this whole community, but you have a lot of apartment complexes. So we will go to different places, houses, whatever, and we pick up a lot of kids and we bring them into this big church. And in this big church, we have a bunch of different programs, whether it be 3 to 7 year olds, it depends on age, teens, whatever. So we bring them in and we give them like a Christ-centered program. And we give them tools, we give them principles, morals that they can live with forever. So when it comes to like tools and all that, so you can be able to be empowered, we stand with Christian morals and Christian principles. And with those type of principles, these children will go off and go to school and be able to be successful citizens in the community and be able to be somebody. They already are somebody in God's eyes, but to be able to be somebody. So now that I'm in grad school, what I'm doing now, I'm part of a Greater Youth Movement organization, and right now I am the Greater Young Kids Coordinator. So it's the kids program for every Saturday afternoon. And we do the same thing, but we're going farther in because we're trying to reach the parents as well. So we pick up the kids, we give them the program, but at the same time, whenever we give, we do like baby showers, we will do like fall festivals, like we'll do like community thing, black parties, whatever, to be able to communicate and talk and get into relationship with the parents. So that way we get to the kids, we get to the parents, we help them with whatever they need, and we give them the tools that they need, so that way they could be able to be, even better, even more successful than what they are right now.
What I heard from what you said in this area is that you don't start with already giving them the tools, it seems. Like you first provide some sort of benefit, we may call it that, to the kids. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. So you got to do it strategically,
Okay.
Because obviously, for example, like if you go in a missionary somewhere, you're not going to show up and be like, well, you hope you don't show up and be like, oh, this is what you need, people. Because they're going to look at you like, who are you? Like, who you are? Like, we don't know you. So what we do, we love children, right? So we get to the children, we give them we present them this beautiful Christ-centered messages and programs like crafts and games and this amazing stuff, snacks, whatever. We provide the need, right? We see the need, we help with the need. Like if the children didn't eat, okay, we're gonna give them whatever they need physically, right? And after that is that we look deeper to see whether, okay, does that family need anything else? Can we help them with anything else? Like we realized that in the community that we were at, there was a lot of pregnant ladies and they didn't have diapers or something like that. So we did a baby shower for the whole community. And a lot of mothers came and they brought their children. They would have never known about that if there wasn't a children's program. You know what I mean? And like we would have never known about their need if there wasn't a little children's program. So we use certain programs to be able to get into the community because abruptly it doesn't work like that.
Right. You're not going to go and just say, hey, this is what you need a job and we're going to give you a job. But you're trying to first go and meet whatever their most felt need is. Yes. And after you start the process and give them a cycle so that they end up being empowered.
Yes.
Now, talk to me a little bit about like the details. So like, let's say that a child comes and you're getting to the parent. What are some of the resources that you guys have done and that you can encourage others maybe to adopt to empower people? What are some of these resources that we can use, or methodologies, classes? What are some of these that can be helpful to empower our communities?
Okay, so I recommend all churches or any group of people that just want to make a change in their community to be able to go to the, not just, to be honest, not just low income, but people are rich and famous and they still have a lot to need. Whether it be mental illnesses or depression, whatever, right? So I will go wherever community you are, do a needs assessment. And it doesn't have to be like you go to every door and be like, oh, what do you need? They're going to be like, who are you? Again, who are you, right? Like you're a random stranger. Like just go and mingle with your community. Mingle with your community. If you don't like the gym, like if you like working out at home, just go to the gym. And start going to that gym because you're going to meet people in that gym and you're going to see a need in that community. If you don't like going out to eat, hey, just adapt it in your area. Like, I don't know, just show up in a random restaurant and just be involved in your community. Be like mingle among your community people because the community members are going to start talking to you like, oh man, we really wish the sidewalk did look like this. Or like, oh man, our children don't have any programs or whatever. Like for me, for example, when I started this children's program with my group of friends and my church, I knew more about the need of the children because I was here for undergrad, but because I was an intern in Benton Harbor School area district. Okay. So I was an intern, I saw the children, I was just like, these kids need more than this because the school system's not cutting it. Like they need like principles and morals and things that could help them. And then once that was starting to happen in the school system, like when I see these kids in the school, I see them on Saturday afternoons, they will see me in school and come up to me and tell me like, oh, I remember that Bible verse you taught us. And then like, they will say like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, are you following that? Like, yeah, and you'll see them and you hold them accountable, So it's mingling with the community. So if I were to tell people, if you're asking me the methodology and all that, I wouldn't start anything if you do not know your community. There's no way. That's why I'm not going to get into politics, but a lot of governors or whatever, a lot of people don't want them, or people because they're not mingling, or they've never lived. So who's the best person that can represent the community is someone that has lived in that community. You know what I mean? Yeah. And knows the struggles.
I understand what you're saying. Definitely. Yeah, if you're disconnected from the community, you're not going to be able to relate to the needs. I think I saw one major of a city. I don't remember which city. I think it's in New Mexico. And he decided to do something about their homeless population. And what was very interesting is that he decided to go homeless for about 7 days. So he literally went homeless for 7 days in order to understand the need of his community, in order to empower. Then he created like this program, and it's very successful. If somebody in the audience or, listening to the podcast can remind me, that'll be great. So I can put it in the show notes, in the comments in the podcast. But yeah, I think that what you're saying is really key, that you really first need to know your community in order to come to that empowerment process. Now, the empowerment process is not all roses, and I'm pretty sure that you guys have met some hurdles. What are some of the things that you guys have dealt with when it comes to community empowerment and trying to empower these kids and these parents?
Okay, so challenges. I think that so Benton Harbor is predominantly a Black community, and when it comes to challenges, there has been just so much discrimination and so much, for the Black community, that negative, right, happening in the United States of America, right, that is just so rooted, like it's so deep, right? So when one is trying to help certain community, it has to go beyond just one-on-one, and it even has to go up to policies, and has to go to top, and sometimes we don't have access to that. And even when you look up stuff, if you see these low-income communities, like, it's not even accessible sometimes, the policies in the area or whatever, and then it makes you think, like, why? Why are we not able to change policies? And because we're not up there, and we have to climb a ladder to get up there. So when it comes to challenges, I feel like a lot of the people that we try to help, they have given up, and that's why we bring hope. We try to bring hope. And when your child looks at you and tells you about, Jesus, or when your child looks at you and says, "Oh, I love this program, you should come, mommy," that should give them some type of hope. And we're hoping for that, to be able to build relationships and give the child an experience that they can bring to their homes, because they're in their homes. We're not in their homes, But I've seen a lot of just giving up kind of thing, or just like, no, this is how I'm going to live. This is all I've known. This is all I've seen. Which brings me to my next point. We actually have an element to our children's program called exposure tours, right? Okay. And basically we bring the kids to big universities like this one, or to different places, so the kids could see people that look like them. You know what I mean? In places that they've never seen before. So I'm just so excited about that, because they don't see that there. And, parents giving up, people, trying their best, but whatever, not even if they try their best, they're not getting nowhere. But the children, we want these kids to see, hey, he's willing to be up there. He's a Black strong man. And look, in God's path, he went to this school and now he's in this position, and that's something that's going to really make a difference.
So that kind of goes into my kind of like next question. As I was listening, I was going to ask you what's kind of like one of the solutions to kind of meet those barriers, but you definitely make it clear, like, so exposing somebody to maybe like the reality outside of their bubble will allow them to see that there's hope, that there's like, you know what, you can do it. You can get there.
That's right.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Right. I really like that, and I really think that that's very important. Now, when it comes to empowering communities, I think it's also important to recognize that there is a level of hurdles and there's a level of solutions. How do you guys keep motivated? Because that's something that's very important. Like, when you're seeing, maybe you're exposing them, maybe you're doing all of that you can, and you still don't see that empowerment coming through to change their lives, to change their environment. So how do you as a team, or your team especially with the kids, how do you guys keep motivated to keep pushing through?
I believe that Jesus Christ keeps us motivated. But Amen. even so, like, I'll give you an example. Okay. So in our children's program, we have this memory verse thing. We teach them a song. And we encourage them at the end, memorize your memory verse, because if you memorize your memory verse, you're going to get a prize. We usually give them like a Bible, something really cool actually. And crying, like little crayolas.
Crayons, yeah.
So then one time we told somebody, somebody raised her hand, like the little kid, a little cute girl raised her hand. She was coming up, and then the mother was there, which was awesome. But the mother was there discouraging her to go up, The mother was like, you don't know the verse, in front of everybody. How do you think that child felt? So that child's walking up like, I don't know anymore. She's thinking that she knew it, right? To me, when I see that, I'm like, it's my responsibility. You asking what keeps me motivated? It's my responsibility as someone who knows Jesus and that knows all this truth, to be able to show that girl that you are capable of knowing this stuff. You are capable of doing so much. You are capable to go farther than what I am probably capable of going, as far as whatever. You're capable to be the president of the United States if you want. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's possible.
Right? So you're capable of doing so much. And then afterwards, I remember she didn't get the Bible verse right. So afterwards, I went up to her later and I gave her a gift anyway. I was like, listen, you tried really hard. You did really good. Okay, you keep going next time. And the mother saw me doing that to her, saying that. And then I told the mother, she tried really hard, she tried really hard. She was like, oh, thank you. And the mom just like light bulb, like, oh, yeah, she did. And I'm not saying that the mother is in the wrong, but probably the mother is just in this generational, put downs. You know what I mean? And sometimes us coming up there and being like, hey, you're able to do more than what you think you can. You're able to do more. You just haven't tried. That keeps me motivated. And my team, what keeps us motivated, that we know that we have the responsibility to, even though we live 11 miles away, that there's a community over there that doesn't know what we know. So if what we know have changed our lives, why are we keeping it to ourselves? We're supposed to give it to someone else.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that's speaking to me personally. I think it's definitely making me think of how we can be more effective when we kind of remind ourselves of that responsibility that we need to have with other people, and that we need to empower them regardless of sometimes how we feel, but that, our initial goal helps us to kind of look at it from multiple perspectives and look at it from the perspective of people need empowerment.
That's right.
And wow, yeah, literally, I'm speechless right now. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Tell me a little bit more about the project. Like, let's say that one of our listeners, especially in the Berrien Springs or in the greater Berrien area, wants to kind of connect. Yes. And maybe work with the community in Benton Harbor.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys have opportunities, right?
Yes, brothers and sisters. Okay, so if you're interested in helping with the Greater Youth Movement, go to greateryouthmovement.org. Very easy, greateryouthmovement.org. Or if you even connect with you, like through the podcast thing, and connect with me, I'll give my number out, but then I don't know who's listening to this, so I don't know if that's appropriate.
We may be able to give it out on person-to-person basis.
Awesome. Yeah. But if you go to greateryouthmovement.org, you're able to just look us up. We have a whole website. And just to let you know, just to make sure that you know that we don't only work in Benton Harbor, but we actually do mission projects as well. In Benton Harbor, we have a team program as well, if you're interested in the teams. And then we do mission projects, meaning we go to different areas and different states all over the country. And we basically gather lots of funds to help with the program that we're doing and the ministry that we're doing. But not only that, we also do international things. Okay. So we're actually planning a trip to Zambia, Africa next year to be able to help and share with others what we have done here and build like a center to help in that community as well. So we do a lot of stuff. We don't just do
the local work.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
So greateryouthmovement.org.
Yes, we'll make sure to put it, and even at the end I'll mention it. Thanks for sharing that. Now, when it comes to, let's go into maybe a little bit more when it comes to community empowerment, a little bit of a different vein from the local work. Let's go back to the bigger picture. How does one start empowering their community? Like, let's say that I already did the assessment work. I already did kind of like internalize what are the needs. What's after? How do I develop something that's meaningful? How do I develop something that's actually meeting the needs?
Okay, so after you do an assessment, you would have to meet the needs of that assessment. So it's going to be different for every community. For example, I was near Detroit area, and I was working in a residential facility that I knew the girls there were not receiving gifts for birthdays. So I'm like, so then our church started something to give them gifts. So when it comes to how do you even start something, I think you need a team, right? A team with the same passion. And it may not have it may not be like as powerful as passion as you, but spread that passion and spread the necessity and responsibility to other people. Because you alone cannot do it by yourself. Like me alone, I wish I could save the world, but Jesus already did that, But so basically you build a team and you share with wherever you are, group of people, group of friends, wherever. It doesn't have to be a church, it has to just be a group of friends that you come up like, hey, these people need this. Oh man, there's something with the homeless people. They don't have something. Can we provide something for them? Can we provide a job application site? Can we provide this? So I think a team is necessary. So that's what I will tell you about that. And then just start it. Okay. And look at laws and regulations. That's important. So you don't be
Yes. Okay. So maybe let's go into that a little bit because that's something that I myself am not super aware of. So let's say that, okay, I looked at the needs. I'm kind of meeting the needs. Why is it important to look at the laws? I mean, you probably as a social worker can tell me more of like how that relationship with the government works.
Yes. So then we need to remember that there's laws and regulations in every state that you live in. And so for example, you want to go, for example, we wanted to go to this place and give a children's program. Mm-hmm. We have to say what organizations we're from. We need to talk to the office building people, like, oh, are we allowed to do this? Mm-hmm. Don't just come in barging in like, okay, I have something you need. Like, that's important because then you might be shut down forever by the cops. Like, oh, you're trespassing, first of all. Right. So you're not supposed to be doing that when you could have already had a permission. Oh, no, I'm not trespassing, officer. I already have this permission from the landlord or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's so many other things as well. Like, for example, we're planning to do something really awesome. I do not want to give it out.
That's fine, no worries.
We're trying to do something really awesome for the children in the exposure tour. And we actually had to look at our organization insurance to make sure that it's allowed to do something like that. And that the child is able to go in this place and, because it might be risky because of, it's nothing bad, but it's awesome and the kids are going to love it. Right. But we had to look at our insurance. Right. Look at your insurance. If you are a group of people, though, that don't have any insurance and you're not part of an organization, just go to the laws. Like, if the sidewalk sucks, right? And you're trying to fix it for some people, for some older people, or people with disabilities that have wheelchairs, right? Go to the secretary people in the state. I don't know. So go to the law people in the state or the area and say, hey, are we able to do something with that sidewalk? Oh, are we able to do this? Can we have a permit? Are you trying to have a little stand by your area to give to people free food? Oh, look for a permit. Just know that. Just be professional, even though you may not be a professional about that.
Yeah, collaboration with the state.
Yes, collaborate. I'm telling you, you want to have good conversations and you want to have good relationships with the cops because you want them on your side. You got to have good conversations with anybody who's in the law because you want them on your side. You want to be able to demonstrate to them that you're trying to make a difference in the community, but not without them. You want them as well to be part of it.
And they may have access to funds and they might have access to things like that. So I think that what you're saying is very, very, very important. All right, awesome. Well, let's go into one more aspect as we start closing down the podcast. Let's talk about you talked a little bit about the spiritual component. Tell me, why is it important that every community empowerment project has a spiritual component?
So, okay, this is important to me because after studying what Jesus did on the cross for me, I don't want to keep that to myself. And so I want to make sure I share that with whoever I meet in any community project that I do. And that is actually the driving force of what I do. It's not really naturally, if I see someone in pain, I'm like, oh man, they're in pain. I wish I could help them. But I want to go deeper, I wish they knew what Jesus did for them. I wish they knew that if they had a relationship with Jesus, things will probably just look a lot brighter, even though you're going through hell. So it's important for every community to have a spiritual component because without Jesus, you're not going to get really far. To me, I'm thinking, right? With him, it's just so much sweeter. So that's what I think. They should know what we know.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks a bunch.
Yes.
It's been a fun podcast and a lot of good information I think that you're giving, especially when it comes to how to look at the needs, assess those, and then focus in collaborating with the state, having a team. You mentioned that, and that's very important. And all, as it's our custom, we always like to give the final word to our guests. So give us one sentence or a couple of sentences about community empowerment and why is it relevant today, and what's the final word on that?
The final word I would tell all of you guys out there is that if you want to leave a legacy behind, start with your community. Be the light in your community. And being the light doesn't mean telling them what to do, but demonstrate it to them, live with them, provide them the things that they need, and be one with people. Be human as they are human. See them as humans. You meet at humanity, and your whole perspective changes. You're no different than other people. And so I feel like that's more than one sentence, but basically share with them what you know, because they'll be so much appreciative. And it'll be just so much sweeter to go to heaven and see one of those little kids smiling at you saying, hey, Jharony, hey, Jose, I got here. And it's because you came and talked to me. Thank you.
That was our conversation about community empowerment with Jharony Fernandez-Gibbs. We hope that you enjoyed this conversation, and if you want to participate in the Greater Youth Movement, please go to greateryouthmovement.org. Again, the website is greateryouthmovement.org. Thank you for listening today. We appreciate that you have taken the time to listen to our podcast and ask that you share it with others. Please leave a review on iTunes or your favorite podcatching app. If you're enjoying our content, we want to invite you to consider contributing to our cause by becoming a patron, where you will receive exclusive content, have the ability to sit down with the Disruptive Adventism team, and ask relevant questions for Adventism and society. If you're interested in contributing, head to patreon.com/disruptiveadventism. Another avenue for contribution is to purchase our merchandise through Amazon or tpublic.com. You can find the links to our merchandise on our Facebook or Instagram pages. We also hope that our content has intrigued you a little bit and that you decide to stay around for future podcasts. If you have any comments, feedback, or a topic you would like us to discuss, please go to our website at www.disruptiveadventism.org or shoot us an email to disruptiveadventism@gmail.com. We're eager to engage in discussions about any matter, so don't hesitate to contact us. This has been it for today. We hope you join us next time. And as always, we invite you to be disruptive.